All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, one of the reasons some Nigerians continue to lend their voices against the evil going on in this country is that this geographical space and entity, as long as it continues to exist, belongs to all of us. Anyone occupying a political office today cannot consider himself God because of it. If you step into a typical Nigerian, community today, the average Nigerian community, you will weep at the level of poverty that this administration has brought upon Nigerians. The income of over 85% of Nigerian homes have been rendered useless in the last 18 months just because of the failure of one man. This is not a situation that Nigerians must allow to continue. One person or a few persons must not be allowed, to destroy the majority of us. And that takes us to our top stories for this episode. El-Rufai, once again, has come out to attack the Tinubu administration, but in doing so, he pointed out how the deliberate evil of a few men have put us in this mess. He said they knew about Bart's forgery case in Chicago University, but they supported him still. How bad is that? And next is another update that highlights how the ego of one man who thinks himself God, who thinks himself very powerful, is about to rubbish the constitution again. AKPABIO is scheming to step down as Senate president, but what he wants to achieve with that is a total violation and desecration of the Nigerian constitution, just so he could punish Senator NATASHA. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. Now, the APC is getting jittery because of the talks of coalition, which have intensified over the last few days. So they sent this APC chief on air to try to discourage the opposition parties. See the video.
Let me say that in 2023, with all the noise that is in the media today, we lost our election in Kaduna State. In fact, I think we barely had about 27% of the votes in Kaduna State when Malam El-Rufai was in charge of Kaduna State. So there are so many things. And El-Rufai, remember that Malam El-Rufai told us that the reason that he supported Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was that he saw Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the one that was able to win the election. Now, before he joined the bandwagon, because what it meant is that he saw that Asiwaju was going to win the election before he joined the bandwagon. Now, there were people on the ground who made that possible, who made the possibility of an Asiwaju presidency inevitable before he joined the bandwagon. So those people are still there. In fact, we have more of those people in Nigeria today. Now you are talking about all of them coming together. We actually are praying that they should come together. But you see, wishes are not horses in politics. Okay? Wishes are not horses. Most of them, a lot of them, without having to ask, a lot of them would like to throw their hearts into the presidential elections in 2027. We beg her to believe that they will hardly find a common ground to be able to have a ticket that will face the APC. Having said so, the APC must not take what is happening politically for granted. And you can be sure that our party will not take what is happening for granted. We are doing our work. We are a studious party. We are a party that believes in research. We are a party that believes in studying the political environment, finding solutions to the challenges of that environment. I am very sure that the party is on top of the job, is on top of the issues. So, You see, the media people are really the people that are doing all of these permutations. So the ACP, this today is Labour, another day is PDP. I want to believe that the PDP is the strongest opposition party in Nigeria. Are we to now believe that the party is going to abandon its ideals, abandon what its founding fathers had projected it to be to Nigeria, to now go into coalition with little parties like small parties like SDP, the Labour Party, and those other parties? Well, we are yet to see all of that. But I wager a guess this morning that all of that will not be able to put away Mr. President.
You heard that. This man has forgotten that it was a merger of CPC and ACN that gave birth to the APC. Today, he is trying to discourage a merger, but I can see through him. All I see is fear, panic, because he knows that their administration has done nothing. He's not even saying that they will not be able to unseat them because of what they have done. He's just looking at the possibility of the coalition happening. He's saying it cannot happen, meaning if it does, they are doomed. The reports on the internal crisis within the APC are numerous, and they know that once the opposition gets it right, it will be the end of the APC. I urge the opposition parties to try to keep personal interest aside and work to save this country that has given them so much from destruction in the hands of the APC. Personally, 2027 is my last year discussing Nigeria the way I am doing now. If we don't get it right then, all I will do thenceforth will be to mock this country. Many have already given up, but I am giving Nigeria just this last chance, after which I will either become as patriotic can be, or to mock this country forever. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that update from El-Rufai, talking about how he and other APC chiefs ignored Tinubu's Chicago forgery case to give him their support. And next is that update coming out of the Senate. AKPABIO is plotting to step aside so he can turn around and sack Senator NATASHA. Let's start by taking that update from El-Rufai. Look at how the papers reported it. El-Rufai: we knew about Tinubu's Chicago certificate issues and still supported him, yet he failed Nigeria. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has revealed that before the 2023 presidential election, political leaders were aware of the controversies surrounding Bola Tinubu's academic records in Chicago, United States, but still supported him. He noted that their hope was that Tinubu would replicate his achievements in Lagos at the international level. Speaking in an interview with BBC Hausa, El-Rufai, who had been highly critical of the All Progressive Congress and the Tinubu government after his defection to the Social Democratic Party, admitted that he and other political figures supported Tinubu despite knowing about the controversy, believing he had the capacity to lead Nigeria effectively. What pains me is that the government we supported and had confidence in would do well because we saw what Tinubu did in Lagos despite his challenges. We all knew about his issues in Chicago, but we thought if he could replicate his work in Lagos for Nigeria, let's support him. However, he failed, El-Rufai said. The former governor also called for a political realignment, urging opposition leaders, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Labour Party's Peter Obi, former Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, and ex-Interior Minister Rauf Aregbesola, to join forces under the Social Democratic Party. What I want and pray for is for all opposition leaders, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Rotimi Amechi, and Rauf Aregbesola, to join the SDP, he stated. El-Rufai's comments come after he defected to SDP amid increasing dissatisfaction within the ruling All Progressive Congress, with the speculation that some key figures may be considering a political realignment ahead of the 2027 elections. First of all, it's not about joining SDP. We are talking about a coalition, a mega party to be formed. It is not that people will port to the SDP. That being said, let's get back to the crux of this matter. Oga, you people knew that a man forged his certificate. How about the issue of the forfeiture of the $470-something thousand proceeds from narcotics? You knew all these things, but you looked beyond them because of your selfish reasons. If not because of the failure of the APC, we are not even supposed to be listening to a man like El-Rufai. Because how can you claim that you love your country? We're coming out of a Buhari regime that was the worst thing this country had ever seen. The next thing you could do was to go and throw your support again for somebody who had so many baggage. From educational qualification to date of birth to drug dealings, nothing. His hands were full of all manner of crimes. But you went ahead and backed him because you felt it was what was good for you. It is such a shame. And this tweet here says, the previous president was without a certificate. He was a dullard. Now the present president is a certificate forger in a country with many brilliant people. And all of you are expecting a better Nigeria. You go wait, tire. That is the case. Sometimes you just look at this country and you wonder who caused this country. Why can't we just do the right thing for God's sake? And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to this, that update from the Nigerian Senate regarding AKPABIO's plot to step aside and then turn around and punish Senator Natasha began making the rounds. Look at how the papers reported it. Exclusive. Senate President AKPABIO plots to step down momentarily for Senate committee to officially clear him. Recommend indefinite suspension for Senator Natasha. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio, currently facing backlash over the allegation of sexual harassment, may step down in the coming week in a plot to allow the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions to officially clear him. Sahara Reporters has learned. The Senate Committee, after clearing Akpabio, is then expected to recommend an indefinite suspension for his accuser and female senator, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Sahara Reporters further gathered from top sources in the Red Chamber on Saturday. According to the sources, both Natasha and Akpabio will in the coming week appear before the Senate Committee in a bid to make the Senate President fulfill all righteousness before landing a heavier blow on the suspended female senator. The investigation will be conducted by the Senator Neda Imashion's committee, while the alleged plan involves presenting Akpabio officially innocent of all allegations and suspending Senator Natasha for the entirety of the remaining part of her tenure. Senator Ireti Kingibe's recent statement supporting the investigation and Senator Onyekachi Nweboyin's Channel TV interview are reportedly part of the orchestrated plan to perfect the suspension plot. Nweboyin had revealed that both Akpabio and Natasha would eventually face an investigative panel. The plan currently being orchestrated is to suspend Senator Natasha till the end of her tenure. The report of the panel is currently being prepared and the panel is just to formalize the process. Akpabio will announce that he is stepping down from investigation to face the panel, and after a few hours, the panel will come up with a report that he is innocent and Senator Natasha will be suspended indefinitely till 2027 when her tenure ends. They want to send her away, one of the top sources revealed. You heard that. Now, at the beginning of this video, I did say that there are some men that think themselves gods. They are forgetting that Nigeria belongs to all of us. Now, according to the Constitution, you cannot suspend somebody that was elected. This person was elected by a group of people. You want to suspend her indefinitely throughout her tenure. So who will now represent those people? Are those people going to become voiceless in the Senate? It has never been done. And in case you think that this is just a statement, it will not happen, I believe 100% that this is what these guys are plotting. And that was why I said when I reported earlier that Natasha was asked to face the committee, I said their plan is to rubbish Natasha, and I would advise her not to even face that committee. It's better to use the court. As corrupt as the court is, it's better to use the judiciary. At least those ones will even pretend as if they are looking into the merit of the case. And if you have some very, very strong points, it will be extremely difficult for them to just push it over. And even if they push it over, it will not result in them rubbishing you. What will happen is that the suspension will be lifted and maybe no punishment will be given to AKPABIO. They will just look for a way to allow the sleeping dog lie. But if Natasha should face that committee, they will look for a way to rubbish her totally. I know that this is their plan. And it is just a shame what the entire Senate has turned into under the APC. And the most painful thing is that the Senate is not the only institution that has been reduced to this level. Go to the Nigerian police, the same thing is happening. Go to EFCC, you find the same thing happening. You go to civil service, same thing happening. Nigerians, which way? Is this how this country is going to continue? Is this how the masses of this country are going to look on? Because I keep saying it, that all these things are in the hands of the masses. If 10,000 people can rise up in each of the 36 states of this country, and that will just be 370,000 people. It's not even up to 1 million. This is a country of over 200 million people. Yet, if this minute number can rise up and say enough is enough, I am telling you, this country will be fixed in no time. It is only a revolution that can fix this country at this point. Whether this revolution will eventually happen, whether it will not, it is left to be seen. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away.